The global economy is once again embroiled in a high-stakes trade conflict. President Donald Trump slapped a 10% tax on Chinese goods and a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico, causing economic upheaval. China replied with a stunning 75% tax on U.S. imports, causing shockwaves throughout industry. This dispute is changing global markets, with increasing automobile costs and interrupted supply networks. The auto sector is hit. The car industry has been among the most hurt by rising trade tensions. A 25% tax on imports from Canada and Mexico, commencing February 1, 2025, jeopardizes North America's intricately linked supply network. Automakers such as GM, Ford, and Stellantis rely on flawless trans-border commerce, as car components frequently cross many borders during manufacture. With over $110 billion in yearly commerce at stake, these tariffs will raise production costs, resulting in higher vehicle prices for consumers. Automobile manufacturers may be obliged to move manufacturing, renegotiate supplier contracts, or accept financial losses. Dealership sales may fall, affecting consumer spending in other industries. The industry's future moves will determine its resiliency in the face of evolving trade policy. China is asserting its control in the rare earth metals market by banning exports to the United States. These aspects are critical to high-tech businesses such as electric cars, cell phones, and defense systems. China controls over 60% of global supplies, thus its approach directly affects U.S. industry. Finding alternate suppliers is expensive and complicated, which can lead to production delays and increased costs. American technology and defense companies may rush to obtain resources, hastening efforts in recycling and alternative research. This transition may halt technological progress and prompt firms to reconsider global supply systems. While new solutions may develop, the immediate impact puts several sectors at risk. The EV battlefield, U.S. versus China. The United States-China trade conflict has transformed the electric vehicle, EV sector into a battlefield. With a 100% tax on Chinese EVs, the United States seeks to protect local producers like Tesla and Rivian. However, China's generous subsidies make its electric vehicles worldwide competitive. While intended to increase U.S. output, these tariffs may backfire. Higher costs may hinder EV adoption, while American automakers, which rely on Chinese-made batteries, face increased manufacturing costs. Supply chain interruptions might stymie new model development, impede infrastructure investment, and halt EV progress. This standoff demonstrates the difficulties of global supply systems. Protectionist measures might transform the market, but at what cost? The semiconductor crisis deepens. If the car industry thought the 2020 to 2022 chip shortage was awful, they may be unprepared for what comes next. The United States has raised tariffs on Chinese semiconductors from 20.5% to a startling 50% by 2025 in an effort to boost American production. However, China has already responded with prospective limitations on materials required for chip fabrication. Semiconductors are the foundation of contemporary automobiles, powering everything from infotainment systems to sophisticated driver assistance technology. A scarcity might lead to manufacturing slowdowns, delayed model launches, and a decline in vehicle innovation. The United States has been working to strengthen its domestic semiconductor sector through programs such as the CHIPS Act, but developing infrastructure takes time. Until then, automakers will confront tighter supply chains and greater expenses, perhaps leading to higher automobile pricing for customers. The energy sector caught in the trade war crossfire. The trade war is shaking up the U.S. energy sector as China reduces American oil imports, cutting off a vital market. This drop in demand raises the potential of oversupply in the domestic market, decreasing prices and reducing oil producers' earnings. Meanwhile, China is strengthening energy links with Russia and the Middle East, reshaping global power dynamics and cutting the United States off from crucial energy trading networks. These shifts have the potential to disrupt global markets and call into question the United States' energy policy. As the U.S. pushes for energy independence through increased fossil fuel production, the accelerating shift toward renewables complicates the outlook. Balancing local oil supply with changing global demand is crucial to ensuring economic stability and competitiveness. The medical industry, too, is feeling the squeeze. The rising trade war has unexpectedly hit the U.S. medical industry, which is facing a 50% duty on Chinese medical goods, such as syringes, needles, and personal protective equipment, PPE. While the objective is to increase local manufacturing and minimize reliance on China, the immediate consequences include higher healthcare expenses and possible shortages of vital supplies. The COVID-19 pandemic demonstrated the risks of supply chain interruptions in medical supplies. High tariffs may now put the United States at risk in future health emergencies as hospitals struggle to get critical equipment. Increased expenses will most certainly be passed on to healthcare providers and customers, further stressing an already overburdened system. Although initiatives are ongoing to grow U.S. manufacturing, establishing a strong supply chain takes time. Until then, the medical business must handle mounting costs and logistical challenges while assuring patient care stays uninterrupted. The U.S.-China trade war is causing a domino effect, affecting worldwide commerce, supply lines, and economic ties. As tariffs rise, governments throughout the world are rethinking trade strategies to lessen reliance on China. The European Union has placed tariffs of up to 45.3% on Chinese EVs, in line with the United States. Meanwhile, Japan and Taiwan are developing their own sectors to reduce reliance on Chinese imports. This move toward protectionism is changing international trade tactics. New economic blocs and regional supply networks may develop, but at a cost: greater costs, inefficiencies, and global unpredictability. Industries and consumers are facing growing costs and supply constraints, making the future unpredictable. The main question is, will this transition result in economic resilience or protracted volatility? Verdict: a turning point or prolonged turmoil. As trade tensions between the United States and China intensify, companies throughout the world risk uncertainty, rising automobile costs, supply chain disruptions, and an unstable EV market. The issue is whether diplomacy can end this economic deadlock. Or are we preparing for long-term instability? The global economy is more intertwined than ever, and one nation's actions can have far-reaching consequences. Will firms adapt and innovate, or will industries struggle with rising tariffs? What's your perspective on the trade war? Will it spur economic development via self-sufficiency, or will it push industries into severe crises? Please share your opinions in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for the most recent information and in-depth analysis. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.